Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more BioInk Redemption in our Lethal Difficulty Guide series. We have only one scenario left in this series, and that is Multikill, which you've already seen on Lethal Difficulty if you watch my more casual playthrough, but this one's really not terrible. They have actually fixed it since I last played it. You now do actually have to kill both victims, not just one. It can be pretty difficult, but fortunately, it kind of rebalances by giving you a lot of points, which is not so hard. You have to have male patients, you have to play on lethal difficulty, there is no easy mode here. We're going to go for the emergency bonus because I think the odds of getting at least one of our patients to the emergency room pretty early on is pretty good. We'll go for collateral damage for as much collateral as possible. We're going to go for random risk factors because you do get 2 per patient, which translates into saving you a lot of early game points. Recovery, we're going to go for long strikes, because I may end up using that to make sure that we time a really good disease and burn our patient down. And of course, finally, I will say quick collapse, because it is the only thing that matters. Left control button is how you get between both of your victims, and yes, you do have to kill both of them within 1 year. Not as difficult as you might have thought. Alright, so the risk factors, we're starting off with unlucky and malnutrition, and then old age and nymphomaniac. I don't know how Nymphomaniac works if I'm focusing on the different patient. Does that work? I don't know. Now, the good news about this scenario is it does seem to have a greatly increased drop rate of points, which makes it... I missed that one. I got greedy. Which makes it a lot easier to actually keep up, I think. We could go for some risk factors, and I probably should at least get a few. Try to make our patients a little bit more vulnerable. So you know what? For this guy, I might just kind of continue focusing on the renal and the digestive system where possible. So let's go for dehydration, and then I may want to go for... I was going to say overweight, but that may not be an option. Maybe we want to go for hereditary and stuff with this guy. I don't know. We got a bunch of different options for us right now. And I'm not too sure which one is going to end up being the best. Let's go ahead and pick up... let's go for workaholic with this guy. We're going to make his nervous system really vulnerable. And Robert Brown, we're going to make him really obese. Those are the things that we are going to do. Now, again, you don't have a lot of time, so you can't focus too much on your risk factors. You're going to eventually have to start doing some damage. And actually, to go ahead and get that ball rolling, I'm going to go ahead and pick up urinary incontinence and a urinary tract infection to try and make John Smith a little bit vulnerable in something, knowing that the patient is going to end up going to the doctor. We just don't have a lot of time to try and avoid that. I'm honestly a little less concerned about the doctor as much as I am about the 365 days that we have to actually kill the patient. For our risk factors, let's go for the junk food addict. Make him a bit more vulnerable in the circulatory and such. And here comes the nymphomaniac. Robert Brown, look at you go. Take some extra damage somewhere. What's it going to be? It's going to be HPV. Warts. Have fun with that one. Does a lot of damage to the digestive, nervous, and immune system. Sweet. I like how those just go away on their own, by the way. You'd think that they would stick around, but they do not. Upgrades, by the way, you need to spend 50 bio points to get the first level. That will happen on its own. It actually happens pretty quickly since the drop rate seems to be greatly increased. Let's go for more risk factors. I will pick up overweight on you. 2 points here are a little bit more important. I like that thunk noise, by the way, when he gains weight. I find it kind of hilarious. And 150 bio points will get you +1 per resource, which is not bad. Not bad at all. We're going to go for obesity on this guy, and then I think we're going to do some damage to the circulatory system and start getting that ball a-rolling as soon as we can. Overweight is done. Obesity, we could go for morbidly obese and make things even cheaper, which would be really good. How many points is that, actually? I mean, eventually it'll pay for itself. 14? It kind of is going to pay for itself if we go for that first. I may want to do that on Robert Brown. I typically like to make only one of my patients fat, so that it's a little bit easier to detect which ones I am currently working on. I don't want to get them confused and pick up the wrong things, you know what I mean? So one fat and one skinny, it's like, hey, I know which ones you are. You're fatty, you're skinny. Sorry, I feel like that's a little bit degrading in some way. I apologize for that one. 14 points is what we are looking for. And then we're going to focus probably on the circulatory system for Robert Brown. Just some simple things to kind of gradually burn him down. Here comes the morbidly obese. That is going to make things real cheap. By the way, we can go for the upgrades, which I would like. The extra harvest power is certainly going to be good. Make it easier to pick up all those extra points that are showing up. Oops, I thought I was going to grab you, but apparently I had some trouble. There we go. Grab the harvest power. That makes things a lot easier. Okay. Now we go ahead and start focusing on the circulatory system with this patient. We'll start probably with the basics like high cholesterol and hypertension. So let's do those since they are free to start. Then we're going to focus on angina and start doing a lot of extra damage to the circulatory system right there. Up, 3 points are more important. Grab you. Grab you. Let's go ahead and switch over. Whoops, I tabbed out of the game. Switch over to John Smith, like so. And then we are going to get probably some more renal system damage with the kidney stones. What else is he weak at right now? Kind of the digestive system, I guess. We could start focusing on some damage there. I may want to pick up one more risk factor on John Smith. I don't feel like we have very much working to our advantage right now. I definitely don't, in fact. 2 points are more important. Grab all of you. Let's go for one more risk factor. What's it going to be? Let's go for the hereditary. We're going to go for muscular on this guy. Make the muscular system a little bit more vulnerable if we can. To that extent, let's go for the potassium deficiency, lead up to the chronic muscle cramp. We do have to be careful about what the doctor starts to cure because it's very easy to lose track and then find yourself getting blocked out of several paths. Here comes the visit to the doctor. We're going to go for the weak muscles like so. Switch it around. How you doing here? Circulatory system is taking a fair bit of damage. Not too bad. I really want to get the extra resources, so the sooner I can do that, probably the better. We're going to want to go for deep vein thrombosis on Robert Brown before the doctor has a chance to cure it. Blood pressure tests are on the way, which means we're not going to be able to get brain aneurysm, but that's probably fine. Let's spend some more points here on, I guess, the kidney cysts, and try to distract the doctor as much as possible. The renal system's actually taking a lot of damage right now. I'm kind of surprised with how much is able to get away. Urinary incontinence is currently being cured. Let's try focusing on something else. I can't do anything there. By the way, did I mention that if you get some diseases for one patient, you block them out in another? So you do have to be kind of careful about what you do there. There's the water per day to try and offset the damage being done. We're going to go for some constipation and some hemorrhoids and see what can be done with the digestive system over there. Though, arguably, that was a bad choice simply because the extra water is going to make them a little bit more resilient there. Yeah, maybe not the best of calls. If I want to continue with digestive, we can also go for gastroenteritis and just try to weak out a little bit of extra damage like so. Let's switch over to Robert Brown. Cure progress is at 7% for you. High cholesterol is currently being cured. I'd love to get the arrhythmia to do some extra circulatory damage. A heart attack would be great as well. Once you start doing the domino effect here, the AI does seem to have a really hard time keeping up, which is great. All right, let's see. Robert Brown is probably going to be the first to die if I had to guess. Let's go for the arrhythmia to make sure that we don't get locked out there. Let's switch back over to John Smith. Renal system is still taking a surprising amount of damage. We could start focusing that down if we wanted to go for kidney failure or kidney infection. Kidney infection being a little bit more difficult for the AI to diagnose, so maybe that's a good option. Alternatively, if we don't go for the kidney failure, then we might lose out with the kidney cysts. So I'm a little bit torn on that one. I think we're going to go for the kidney failure since he is working on the cysts right now. Let's make sure we don't get locked out. Going to the emergency room, eh? Okay, that's going to make it a little bit easier for the AI to start curing me, which I am a little concerned about. We probably do want to continue with the digestive system, get a little damage with the salmonella infection, maybe move on to Crohn's disease for 9 points. We can get an upgrade, and for that I'm going to need 10 points. So that is now my primary priority, because those extra points really freaking add up. And by the way, now that we're in the emergency room, we get extra points there too. So now we're getting +2 for every resource, which is going to make things really, really easy. Let's see if we can go for either muscular dystrophy or fibromyalgia, I would think. We do need to worry a bit about John Smith, even though his system's about to fail here. He's the one that has probably the least systems currently being affected. That's a lot of extra points that I can work with. Holy crud. Super duper nice. Let's switch over to Robert Brown. How you looking there, buddy? The circulatory system could use a little bit of lovin'. And by a little bit of lovin', I mean a little bit of killing. So let's go over here. Oh, wow. Okay, let's go for the heart attack. They actually focused really hard on the circulatory. But the heart attack guarantees that it is going to fail, which means I can move on to other things with Robert Brown, and we probably should do exactly that. So what do I want to go for with you? Let's do... What are you the weakest at right now, Robert Brown? Muscular. We could go for necrotizing... No, this is John Smith. Wait, I got confused. They're getting mixed around. Muscular would be really easy. Respiratory is also pretty easy. Let's see if I can go for necrotizing fasciitis. It's not going to take me very long to get the points that I'm looking for. In fact, there they are. I really don't want to miss out on anything if I can avoid it, though. And this is getting to the point where it's going to be hard to keep up with what's going on, because there's so many points coming in. So let's go for the Necrotizing Fasciitis. Let's also go to the respiratory system. I'm going to pick up bronchitis. I'd like to get chronic bronchitis as well and see what we can do there. Just wherever he is the most vulnerable. The arrhythmia is being cured, but because we got the heart attack, I'm pretty confident that the AI is not going to try to do a heart transplant anytime soon. That said, they did go for some repair to the renal system. A little unfortunate. A urinalysis test is being done at the moment. We can go for chronic kidney failure, and that should send it back down to nothing, so we can start getting a lot of extra damage on all the other systems. As many domino effects as you can get is going to be helpful. Would love to get fibromyalgia, since we're not actually doing a lot of damage to the muscular systems, shockingly enough. If I went for some extra risk factors, we could try going for something like Parkinson's disease, and that would certainly work. But I'm not sure if we want to do that. Digestive is also fairly vulnerable. Basically, this scenario is not that hard simply because they do give you so many points, and they kind of have to for balance reasons. But you really do have to be able to divert your attention and try not to lose track. You know, keep checking in with these patients. I'd love to go for irritable bowel, and then I think we switch back over to Robert Brown. Do not neglect one patient completely. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult to keep up with the AI. So there goes irritable bowel. Now I think we switch back over to Robert Brown. How you doing there, buddy? Your heart has still failed. That's good. Fibromyalgia. Sorry, no. Muscular dystrophy is working its charm. Let's go for the pneumothorax. There's the heart transplant because of the heart attack has been cured. All the more reason to try and get another domino effect. I'm really worried about the recovery here on Robert Brown. So you know what? I think we're now at the point where I'm going to start focusing almost exclusively on him and try to burn him down some other way. Now, if I had photosensitivity, I could go for skin cancer, which I do like. So let's go for that. I'm going to need to focus down that muscular system as much as possible. We're already up to 18 points. A little bit more would certainly help. Looking here at John Smith, he has lost another system. Digestive, which means muscular, is going to fall apart pretty soon. John Smith is on his way out without any more help here. So yeah, I'm not too worried about him. Let's go for the skin cancer. I'm going to go for the flu as well. Let's do a little bit more damage to the respiratory system. Okay, surgical exploration. He is trying to detect the necrotizing fasciitis, which I'm not thrilled about. Circulatory system is still taking some damage. I don't know what else I could do to try and weaken that right now. We could go for something like leukemia. No, we can't. We need hereditary. Never mind. We can instead go for osteoporosis and arthritis. Those also do some extra damage to the muscular system. Make sure that they fall apart a little bit faster. Again, I'm not worried about John Smith. John Smith, in fact, is already going to be dead. Both die simultaneously. They are somehow life-linked, so don't get confused if he's not actually dead. Let's go for some type 1 diabetes because I don't know what else to go for at this point. I guess we just focus down more of the respiratory system. Circulatory system is taking a fair bit of damage. Let's go for the H1N1 followed by pneumonia, if I can grab these points right here. Necrotizing fasciitis is being cured as we speak. Not worried about it. Apparently he's going for the amputation, which just sounds disgusting. And let's go for the tuberculosis. Respiratory system is going to fall apart very rapidly as well. And we have won this scenario. Now, we got really close on the recovery, which I'm concerned about. If you're getting really close, then what you need to be doing is go for the doctor's strike to save yourself as much time as possible. But it looks like he is going to die just before that can happen. So there we go. Grab the points and done. Multikill. We had only a few days remaining. I actually completely forgot about the timer. Woo! That was a little closer than I thought it was. I thought we were doing real good. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay. Yeah, if you can focus on one system exclusively and the doctor doesn't worry about it, like the renal system for John Smith, he actually is going to die pretty quick. We actually focused a lot more of our points on Robert Brown, but because we focused down one system pretty aggressively on John Smith, he ended up dying. So we didn't neglect him, and he ended up doing pretty well. 5,600 points is good. 94% recovery was a little close, and only 7 days remaining was a little close as well. Well, now. But, again, you really can't focus too much on the risk factors. Going for the pre-evolved ones is certainly nice, but don't spend most of your early game going for them. Get a few. I may have actually been a little overly aggressive with the risk factors, so maybe it's not even worth picking those up at all. You can experiment with that strategy a little bit. But otherwise, this scenario is really not all that bad because they give you the extra points, and you can focus all of them in one patient at a time if you want to. Either way, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you have enjoyed this entire series because we have now come to completion. There is nothing else to do in Bio Inc. So I've had a lot of fun with this. We're going to move on to something familiar like Plague Inc. But if you guys enjoyed this series and you enjoyed this game in general, please do consider hitting that like button. Leave a comment showing your support. Tell me what you did enjoy, what you didn't enjoy, what kind of things you'd like to see me do in the future. Hit subscribe if you have not already. Hit that notify bell. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.